Hello, welcome to the update on how I started my allotment. Now that I've cleared some of the weeds and brambles from the centre, I need to get on and deal with the borders and hedges.
Whilst digging up the bramble roots, I've gone and poked the fork in a few places around the allotment, and apart from a couple of places where I've hit stone, mostly it seems to be good soil. Obviously covered in grass and weeds, but it seems to be good soil underneath, so there is a silver lining. While I'm at it, I'm trying to get rid of the dock and things. I'll take all of these and put them in a barrel, fill it with water, and then let them rot down. Make a weed tea out of it.
The sun hedge on the right hand side is quite a mess. This is such a mess that I can hardly see the neighbouring allotment through the weeds and rubbish. The hedge on the left to the north has birds nesting in it, and my neighbour on that side wants to keep it tall. So I'm leaving it till the winter when the birds have gone. You can see where it has been cut, and I'll probably cut the rest to the same height.
Obviously, looking at this, it's quite clear how much we can claim back by cutting the hedges back. You could probably get almost about a metre back by cutting the hedge, so that'll be a useful job to do next year.
I can't even get to the back hedge, but as there are nesting birds in the trees, that will have to be left for the winter too. Many of the weeds have set seed, as we can see from the seed stalks and the dried seed pods that have shed the seeds. Obviously, these will be a problem, as there will be a lot of weed seeds in the ground, and some of these will germinate when the conditions are right. There's nothing I can do about it now, so I'll just have to deal with these and pull them up as they come up. There is a tangled mess of weeds and raspberries, which need to be separated out. Unfortunately, the hedge is overgrown and is tangled up with everything else. But once I cleared everything else, the raspberries get a bit of space, and with more light and air circulation, they should grow well.
Well, this hedge, once I've thinned it out, I found all these other raspberry bushes that were like hidden away in there and being choked by all the brambles and other stuff. But it's taken ages because I don't want to ruin the raspberries, but I have to be very careful because it's like spaghetti back there, and it's taking ages.
There is a massive tangle of old branches, brambles and raspberries, which I've had to tackle. This had to be done quickly before the other weeds such as nettles and thistles come up and make it even more difficult. There were also flowering plants such as a clematis in the hedge, which I avoided damaging.
There's some prunings that somebody's just cut and just dropped in the hedge and just left it, so there's a lot of that as well.
Once the deadwood and weeds are removed, it's possible to see their useful plants such as raspberries and perennial flowers. Some of the branches looked okay, but on closer inspection I could see the rot and fungus on diseased branches. This was because there was no air circulation or sunlight, so the dark, humid conditions were ideal for fungal diseases to develop. I've cut out as much of the diseased wood as I could, so the remaining parts of the plants will recover now that they have more air and sunlight.
You see, this is starting to develop some sort of fungus, or it's turned black with white spots, so obviously there is some disease starting on here, so all this has got to come out.
I also found a lot of old metal and rubbish in the hedges, and can now see other plants such as comfrey and ivy after the hedges have been cleaned up. There were also quite a lot of old raspberry canes that need to be cut down as no one has managed these plants for a long time. These berry bushes between my plot and the next were tangled up with brambles and weeds, and I got as much as I could, but as some of the roots were on the other side of the fence, I couldn't get everything. No doubt they'll be back. The tree in the corner and the area around it was tangled with years of bramble growth, which I cleared. While I was clearing up, I bought a couple of barrels from another plot holder. These will be useful for capturing rainwater from the shed roof. He also gave me a bath that he didn't need. It's a corner bath and fairly deep, so it could be used as a wildlife pond or to grow deep-rooted vegetables. He also had a surplus of bricks and stones that he didn't need, so I've got them to use to build some beds. There were some weeds on the lane outside the shed. As this tap is by my shed, I feel responsible to keep the area tidy from weeds so that people can access the tap easily and don't get hurt by nettles and brambles. So I dug up as much of the weeds as I could, and this lot can be added to the burn pile. And finally, after several days of hard digging and pruning, I've got a big pile of weeds plus dead and diseased wood to get rid of. I'll burn these in the barrel that was already on the plot.